I'll be able to do this. I promise.
No, you can learn. It's very clear that you pick it up very quickly. So yeah, just do some puzzles, just play a little bit, and you won't lose in 6 moves. I can assure you of that much.
Oh, that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words of telling me I won't lose in 6 turns. That's actually very
no.
nice.
I mean, no problem. And like, I think like closer to the event when there's time, if you want to do another lesson, just let me know, and we can do more.
Yeah, let's do more.
All right. And also, don't forget to like message me about your uncle, because I'll certainly give him a game if he wants it. So, all right, I'm gonna get rolling. So
All right, I'll see you later.
I'll catch up with you, and good luck. Okay.
All right, I will. I'll be good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Carv. Yeah, my uncle Jim. He's a god. He's a what is he? He's he's part of some organization that you crazy kids are in.
Like Mensa?
No, it's another one. It's another one. Does anyone remember, chat? There's no way they remember. Knights of Columbus. How do they remember that? You know what Knights of Columbus is?
I actually do not. No.
It's that secret, and so he's super secret, and he's super good at the game, and yeah, he's been playing for years. So...
Okay. By the way, your account is called Mizkif Highlights, apparently.
Oh, really?
Apparently, yes.
And the password?
Let me see if I can get it. Right. But I'm also not going to say it, but I'll write it to you. Yeah.
Well, I have 2 seconds faster than they use, though.
Okay, true. Just 1 second. Yeah. So right, but you're saying your uncle plays, so like, I mean, like you mentioned before, I would actually, like, if he wants to play a game at some point, like not on stream even, but just like if he wants a game, I would be more than willing.
Oh, let's go, dude. He would love it because he's a chess fiend. That's all he cares about is chess in life. So I would love, yeah. He's home and he's not computer literate at all. Mm-hmm. But when I go home, I will definitely message you and be like, oh, we should do a game right now, because he loves all he talks about is chess. He brings chess everywhere, and like this, you know what ShopRite is?
You mean ShopRite? What do you mean, like where you buy stuff?
Yeah. So
yeah.
He has a bag from ShopRite, and he carries a chess game in there at all times, no matter where he goes, in case someone wants to play with him.
Oh, nice. So he's got like one of those like like those small chess sets. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's like one of those like old men at the end of a Disney movie, you know, where it's like a cute little old man like playing chess. Like that's what he is. He's just,
oh, nice.
So yeah, he would play.
Right.
Wait, I bet you I can figure out this password. Ready?
Sure.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll get it to within a minute or two, probably. But yeah.
Nope. Is it chicken? Let me see. Nope. So when's this the chess tournament?
So you're lucky. You're not super far behind the curve. I think it starts on August 21st. So even if you don't put in a lot of work, you still have time. You're not like way behind the curve, and there are other people who might not be as good as you. I got your password, so I'll just DM it to you.
As long as I don't lose within 6 moves, I'm pretty happy.
Okay, well that I can definitely help you with for starters.
All right, we're in.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, what is your background in chess? Did you did a lesson with Hans, I think, briefly, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call it a lesson. Hans pretty much just told me every girl he's interested in on Twitch, and then also he told me that he wants to move into my house and he wants to take over live stream fails. So I wouldn't really call it it was pretty much just a roundup of who Hans is, not really a game of chess.
Okay. All right, that was certainly not what I was expecting you to say. But yeah, well, everyone's got their own niche, I guess. So, all right, okay. So then I'll try to give you more of a proper lesson. So you're in, right?
I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, Mizkif highlights. Let me.
Dude, I'm so excited. I want to start loving chess. I don't know if that's gonna be. I've always wanted to love something.
Okay. Actually, let's just do it without actually starting a game. So we do this. All right. Let me invite you to this board.
This is exciting. How long have you been playing chess?
Pretty much my whole life. I started when I was about 7 years old, which is pretty old by modern standards.
And now you're 32, right?
Yeah, so like 25 years.
Damn.
Okay, so you should see an invite in the bottom right hand corner, I think. Or are you in live chess or not? Click on play and live chess now. On the left hand side, you see where connect is above there?
Yeah, live chess. Okay, I'm in there.
Okay, so let me re-invite you then.
Well, let me just. All my mods are trying to invite me right now. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna play this in like an analysis board instead of an actual game, because I don't want you to feel pressure with time or any of those other issues. So, what do you know about chess? Do you know anything about chess?
White goes first.
Mm-hmm. Don't be racist, dude.
Is that?
That's a joke. I'm joking.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh, saves. Okay.
No, it's all good. So okay.
So white goes first. Black matters. Wait, white goes first, and that's all I know. Oh, there's pawns, knights, kings, queens.
Okay, so basically, let's start with the basics before we play, which is that the queen is the most powerful piece, right?
Yes.
Because the queen can move in the most directions. So
yes.
So the queen is the most powerful piece. It's worth 9. Then the rooks are worth 5. And then the bishops and the knights are worth 3. And the pawns are worth 1.
Wait, there's points?
Well, it's not that they're points specifically, but we assign values so that you know which pieces are worth more in the game.
Can I get a notepad?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Do you mind signing my Steam profile after this?
How did I know you were going to say something like that?
Oh, I'm predictable. I'm worth like a 2 at this point, dude. All right, so what is it? It's kings.
Well, the king doesn't have a value because the king is the piece that can get like, it's the piece that you don't want to get trapped. So the king has no actual assigned value, but it's the most important piece, because if it's the piece that gets trapped, you lose the game. So it's like, it's worth like 100 or whatever. It's the most valuable piece, but it can't ever get captured. It can only be attacked.
So queen is worth 9. A pawn is worth 2, right?
1.
And then a knight
is worth, knight and bishops are worth 3. And then the rooks are worth 5.
Like that?
That looks correct, yes.
Okay, and which one's the bishop?
The bishop is the one that's the bishop's the one that has the cross. Or it doesn't have the cross on the board, no. Or you're using a different set. So the bishop is the pointy one. The one next to the king and next to the queen.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, I got it. Yeah. It's
so like the rook is the one in the corner that looks like the castle. The knight is the one that looks like the horse. Don't ask me why it's called a knight instead of a horse, but it is. And there's the bishop next to the queen and the king, and then there's the queen and the king in the middle.
All right, I'm just drawing the rook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's easy to remember. Okay.
Yeah, like I think of the rook as like the castle. The knight is the one that's, it's called a knight, but it's a horse.
Okay, and now I'm drawing the knight.
Mm-hmm. And then there are 2 bishops. So the bishop next to the queen, and there's one next to the king.
Sure, man, don't. All right, I drew the knight. Dude, my girlfriend shit-face can draw better than this. All right, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, it looks decent.
Are you talking about me?
What? No, I saw the drawing.
Oh, okay. So, what is my first move? Should I check like forfeit now or later?
Much later. So I'm gonna have you start playing with the black pieces because it's much harder to play with black than it is with white. So normally what you want to do is you want to get your bishops out. The bishops which are next to the queen and the king, they're kind of like the snipers. They attack from very far away. So like when you push a pawn, you're attacking on this you're attacking all the squares on this diagonal.
Of course, yeah.
So the bishops are the pieces that attack from distance, more so than any other piece. The queen can also attack from distance as well, but the bishops are pieces that you want to bring out early. So normally what you're going to do is you're going to push one of these pawns in the center. It's like these 4 squares are the most important squares in the center part of the board.
Okay, interesting.
So normally you're going to push.
So do people always start by putting one of those guys first?
Most of the time, yes. You almost always push a pawn in the center of the board.
What do you do?
I can play like 6 different moves on the first move, but most of the games that I have played have been with this pawn or with this pawn in front of the queen. One of these center pawns.
Okay.
So I'm going to play this pawn here. This is the move that in the tournament you're going to face the most. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Are you familiar with notation or not? Just the squares?
Narrative? Wait, what'd you say?
The notation. Like you see how they're like it says A B C D E F G on the bottom, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 on the side.
Yeah, I see that now.
Are you familiar with it or not? Because I won't say the squares otherwise. I just want to know.
No, I played a fair share amount of bingo in my life. I can deal with this.
Okay. All right. So most of the time what you play is you play pawn to e4 here, or pawn to d4 in front of the queen.
Okay.
So I'm going to start by pushing my pawn here. Now, since you're relatively new to the game, and since you don't want to lose in 6 moves, I'm going to recommend that you start by playing this pawn move. And this is called the French defense.
Ooh, oui. Why would I go only 1?
So let's say you push the pawn here. Let's play this out first. So I'm going to move my queen here. So normally in the game of chess, you don't want to bring your queen out very early because it's the most powerful piece and it's the piece that can be attacked very easily. Oh, by the way, you should flip your board. So you see the cogwheel next to that black rook in the right-hand corner?
Yeah, should I?
Yeah, if you click that cogwheel, there should be like the 2 arrow reverse. No, just hit cancel, and there's like.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, so that.
Wait,
that should...
can we play a quick game of chess so
sure,
I can see
yeah,
how fast?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Just make the moves.
Okay, ready, chat? Let's see if I can not losing 6 turns.
So it's your move. So yeah, you can make a move here. Okay. Well, on the bright side, you fell for one of the traps that XUC has fallen for quite a few times. Okay, you'll last 6 turns, I think.
That's all I want to do. I don't need to be the best. I just want to be damn close. I took one of Hikaru's pieces, AMA.
Yeah, good job. It's only the pawn though. It's not like a real piece. I mean, you took something worth 1.
Can't my guy can't go over here?
Which piece are you trying to move?
The bishop? He can't go over here?
The bishop next to your king?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like you can't move the bishop because then I would capture your king.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Can a pawn go forward?
Well, right now, I guess the first thing you should be looking at on every single turn is what is your, like, what am I attacking? Like, what pieces can I capture?
My king.
Well, if your king gets attacked by my piece where I'm threatening to capture your king, then you're going to get checkmated, because the king is the piece that has no actual value, but it's the only piece that really matters at the same time. Because once your king has no moves and it's attacked where I can capture it on the next turn and it's surrounded, then the game ends, because that's called checkmate.
Of course. So you just checkmated me.
Not well. Okay, think about it this way. Am I capturing your king right now? My next turn, I'm not capturing your king.
Oh, I thought the pawn moves forward. How does the pawn attack?
No, the pawn moves side. No. The pawn moves forward if there's nothing in the way.
Oh, okay. Okay, see, that makes sense. Okay.
So yeah, the pawn that's right in front of your king, it can't move anywhere because there's nothing that it can capture sideways, and it can't move ahead because your king is on the square in front of it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I should win this.
It's not likely because your king is there's no protection around your king. Your king is wide open here to be attacked.
You'll see.
Mm-hmm.
My Uncle Jim has taught me the ways of the board. Wait.
I'm pretty sure that if he's watching this, he would not be very impressed.
Oh no, he turned off my stream months ago.
Right. And now this is checkmate.
Right.
No, but I mean, why is it checkmate though? Like just
because I can't go anywhere.
Right, like your king can't come up because my knight guards this dark square. It can't go over because my pawn would take your king. And same for if it goes over. And you can't capture the pawn because my queen and my rook protect this pawn.
Holy crap, the way you think. Oh my god. That's insane. That's all right. That makes sense.
So let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the second move. Like since you're so new, there's the first thing that you should be looking at, like forget about like the principles, these sorts of things, is like think about this move I just played. What am I threatening to capture here? Okay, what are the things that my queen can capture with the next turn? Let's just say you play a random move. What are the captures
Pawns
that I can play with the queen? Right. So how many of the pawns can I capture with my queen?
2. Right?
I can. There are 3. So which ones do you say?
Oh yeah, diagonal, straight, and to the right.
Right. So I can attack these 2 pawns, and there's this pawn. So there are 3 pawns that I can capture. So let's say I capture this pawn. Is this a good capture or not?
The answer is no, because I could take you out right here.
Right. So that would be a bad capture.
And since yours is worth 9 and mine's worth 3, I win.
Right. Well, you would still have to win the game, but yes, you would be way ahead. So let's go back. So in this position, and what happens if I take this one?
Then easy clap.
Right, and you're up by a queen.
Right, and I just took your best thing.
Right. So now let's say I take this one.
If you took that one, there's nothing I could do, but I have to move my king, so I would do this. That way it protects this from going here, because I would do that.
Right. So yeah, you can. Whoops, sorry. So in this position you can defend, but you've lost 1 pawn. You're behind already by 1 point.
Right.
So you're behind by 1 point already, which is not what you want to do. So when I move this queen, I'm attacking these pawns. So there's only one that's under attack. So what is a way that you can protect this pawn? So if I capture it with my queen, you'll be able to recapture my queen on the next move.
Well, I'm sorry. What was your name again? Wait, what was it? What's going on? All right, say it again.
No, I was saying, how do you protect this pawn here? You see, because I'm turning to take with my queen, right? It's a free pawn.
I can't. Well, I can't go forward. So I'd have to go to the because there's a pawn in the way.
Right. So you can't move your pawn. So what I want you to do is protect your pawn with one of your forces.
Right. So I would protect it with this guy, one of my other pawns.
You can't push the pawn up though, because then I capture your king.
Right. But I would put this pawn up.
Right. So this is a good move. This is a very good move because now you protect the pawn. So if I capture the pawn, you take the queen.
Yeah.
So now everything is protected. So now I'm going to move my bishop out.
Holy shit.
So again, think about what am I attacking? Am I going to capture one of your forces or not?
Right now with this bishop, what can you do? You can attack one of my pawns right now, and in order to stop you from attacking that one pawn, I have my king. But the thing is, if you attack that one pawn, your queen can't do anything.
Okay, so let's say you play a move like this. What I would say is, look, how many pieces am I attacking this pawn with here?
2.
Right, and how many pieces are you defending this pawn with?
1.
Right, so if I'm attacking it with 2 and you're only protecting it with 1, I'm going to capture this pawn and I'm going to win the game. Because like when I take the pawn, you can't recapture because my bishop guards the queen.
Right.
And this would actually be checkmate because your king can't move anywhere here. It's just stuck.
F.
So that's why what you want to do, like the most basic thing is look to see what your opponent is attacking and try to not lose any like if you make some trade, for example, let's say I move my bishop and you move your queen here. If I take this pawn, you take back, I take and you take, you're ahead. Right?
I win. Yeah.
Well, you win the trade. You're ahead by 2 points because when I make these captures, I give a queen and a bishop for a queen and a pawn.
9 plus 3. Yeah, 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 1.
Right. So yeah, plus 2. So you're ahead by 2 points. So this is like very good. This is what you want. So like you're willing to make exchanges. Like for example, let's say you move the queen here. I push this pawn and you move the queen. If we trade the queens, this is also fine. It's an even trade. We both give up 1 queen.
Right. Makes sense.
So okay, so what I want you to play is to push this pawn. And the reason I want you to push this pawn is to stop any of these quick checkmates. Because the easiest way that people end up getting checkmated is they play the mirror and then their opponent brings the bishop out. And they play something like knight here. White moves the queen to this square. So the threat is to make a checkmate on this pawn right here next to the king.
Okay.
And so
holy crap, that's a lot of information. I'm also very, I don't know if you know, I'm very like ADHD and stupid, so it's hard for me to learn like fast.
Well, first of all, like yes,
I
know that you have ADHD, but dude, like, weren't you supposed to work at Vanguard? Like, you're not stupid. Like,
no, well, yeah, but I was on Adderall. I was on crazy amounts of Adderall back then, so I was like, you know,
I'm just saying you're not stupid. Like, if you could work, if you got an offer to work at Vanguard, you're not stupid. Let's be serious.
Right, yeah, but you know, it was a lot of it was Adderall. I do. You just called me out for pretending. You checkmated me in my pretending moves. I don't like that. That's I always just say I'm stupid, but you just checkmated me.
Well, you're not stupid. Like I'm just saying, like it's not. But anyway, all right. So back to the chess. Let's say you push this pawn here. Can white attack your king with 2 pieces easily? Like there's just one weak point next to your king here.
Can white attack my piece easily?
So okay, so let's go back to this position where I bring this out. You see how I'm attacking this pawn with the bishop and the queen?
Right.
It's very easy for me to attack because there's this open line for the bishop on this what we call the diagonal. But now when you push the pawn here, if I bring the bishop out, the bishop's not attacking because, like, let's say you move the knight and I bring my queen here. I can't capture this pawn because this pawn is in the way, so the pieces don't coordinate and attack the square at the same time. So let's say you push the pawn. If I capture the queen, or I capture the pawn, you just take the queen, right?
Yeah, and that's easy points for me.
Right, you're just ahead. It's 1 for 9, so that's fantastic. So like this is why I want you to push this pawn, because like if I bring the bishop out, this pawn is in the way, so I can't easily attack at the base here on this pawn next to your king.
Makes sense.
So like when you bring the pawn out, none of these ideas with the quick 6-move checkmate work. So like let's say I bring the queen out here, for example. What is a way that you can threaten to capture the queen here? How can you try to capture the queen?
I would put this guy here, and then if you try to attack, which you wouldn't obviously because it's really stupid, I would hit you right there, and if you hit me there, I'd hit you there.
Very good, very good actually. This is great. So now I'm gonna move my queen away. So now you can push the pawns, and they're very good for sort of solidifying the position around your king. But at this point, you now need to try and develop some pieces here. So where would you put this bishop? Bishops are like the snipers in the game of chess, and you want the bishop to attack from very long distance.
Okay, where would I put the bishop if I was going to try to attack you? I would put him... If I was going to be a 6 sniper...
Yeah.
Speaking of six snipers, yo, Stroud, where would I put this piece? Is he here?
I'm still here, yeah. Or what's going on? Okay.
Oh, Shroud was in my chat and he said I was pretending.
Oh, okay. All right, Shroud. Okay, yeah. Okay.
he's just a mod. Don't worry about him. He's just
okay.
attention-seeking mod.
Yeah. That dude from Mixer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So if we look at this position after I move the queen, where I would say you put the bishop is move the bishop here.
That's what I was gonna put it actually.
Yeah. So the reason you put the bishop here is because you attack on this diagonal.
Right, but wouldn't you? The thing is, if I attack this angle, then wouldn't you just be able to take me out right here if I put this guy here, or if I put my
wait? So let me just make a move. So what's your next move here? Right. So this would be like, for example, let me go back. Let me just make a random set of moves. Let's say I get this position. You take this pawn. First of all, you're up by 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what else are you attacking here?
Your rook.
Right, the rook's under attack, and you're just going to capture it next move. Because I can't actually move the rook anywhere. So, like, for example, let's say my knight was here. You reach a position like this. I can move the rook here. Right?
Right.
And then you don't capture, you can't give up the bishop for the rook.
No.
But in this position...
But in this position, I can just easily grab your knight. Or your rook.
Right, because I can't move it anywhere. It's stuck in the corner, and you just capture it with your next turn.
I see.
But in this situation, if you were to capture the pawn here, I'm guarding it with 1. So I just capture the bishop. And it's a 3-for-1 trade, which is very bad for you.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
So again, when you look at what's under attack, like you put this bishop on this long, whatever you want to call it, down towards the rook. If I'm guarding, it's like you're threatening to capture it with one piece. Your bishop will capture his pawn. That's 1, but it's guarded by a bishop, which is also 1. If it's 1-for-1, then when you capture it, you're going to be way behind. But the bishop is very good here, though, because it always keeps an eye down towards this rook and towards this pawn here.
Just watching them.
Right. So, but it's also developing. So, do you know what castling is?
No.
Okay, so castling it's kind of looks like a glitch. So let's just say you want to get your king out of the center part of the board, because the king in the center is a very vulnerable piece. You want it with a lot of protection in front of it. So let's say you were to move the knight here.
Oh, I can take my rook and then move my king, and they can switch places.
Right. So what you do is you take the king and you move it over 2 spaces, and the king gets out of the center of the board.
Oh, I thought, can it switch with the rook?
Yeah, so take the king and try to move it to the light square 2 squares over.
Oh, okay.
So they do switch places. Like the king goes over 2 and the rook jumps on the other side of the king. So like what you want to do normally is you want to get your king out of the center part of the board, because normally what happens is that there's a lot of play in the center. So normally the players will try to develop their pawns and their bishops, and everything will be in the center part of this board, like around these two files where the queen and the king are, and then these 4 central squares.
But it's like a battlefield, and then you want your king to get away from the battle as much as possible.
Right, so you want to get it out of the middle where all the pieces will be attacking each other.
Right, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So you want to hide your king as much as possible, make sure that he's not vulnerable to the other people and stuff.
And so, like, normally, if you think about it, let me just make a couple moves. So I'm going to push my pawns and take the center here.
Ooh, you rat.
So now, normally, like I said before, these 4 squares are the most important squares in the center of the board. So now what you would play is you would push this pawn forward 2 squares.
Yes, because even though if you take that pawn, I could take your pawn, and then we're stuck, and we're even. It's 1-to-1.
Right, and again, you have 1 and 2 guarding. I have 1 to attack. So when I take, you would actually take back with the pawn.
Right.
And the reason you take back with the pawn as well is because when you take with the pawn, you open both of these diagonals for your bishops, basically. And the bishops are the pieces that you want to have the most scope. You want them attacking as far down the board as they can.
Of course. That makes sense. They're snipers.
Right. So they're very powerful from distance. Whereas things like the knights are much stronger when they're closer. So like if you think about this knight here that I'm highlighting this on the light square, it's going to take me like 1, 2, 3 moves to get close to your king. Whereas with the bishop, right, yeah, 4, 3, 4, right. Whereas with the bishops, you can like always move them out and attack really far down the board in 1 turn, potentially.
Like a sniper.
Right, which is why, yeah. So like think of it like that. They're the things that attack from very far away. Like you kind of can forget about them, but they're just waiting there lurking, and they're gonna like pick off your pieces. So like that's
watchers.
So that's why, yeah, you would take with a pawn because now this bishop can come out on these squares as well. But to give you an example, like when you take with the pawn, your king can come under fire very quickly. Like I can make like a check here and attack your king.
Right.
And let's say you block. I can also like bring the queen and attack your king right away.
Wouldn't I block with instead of the knight? Wouldn't I use this so that way if you went like that, I would just do this?
Very good. Yes, very good. Yeah. So when I play this move, I'm trying to give an explanation. And you're finding the right moves. Like I'm trying not to make it too complicated, but you're finding the right moves. So that's fantastic. So yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe Shroud was right. Anyway,
no, Shroud is not, dude. Do not listen to him. He only comes to my chat to be he's the most toxic mod I ever had. All he does is he comes in, he says I'm pretending whatever I'm doing, and he leaves.
All right. So like let's continue with this. So like when you push the pawn, the point that I was going to make is that your king can be attacked very easily in the center. Now here you can defend and it's not a problem. But for example, let's say let's look at it this way. If you get your king out of the center part of this board, like you castle the king, your king can't be attacked easily here.
Right, yeah.
Because it's very hard.
3 pawns, a knight, a rook, and a queen.
Right, so you've got all this protection in front of your king, and you've got the rook next to your king as well. So that's why normally you want to develop like your pieces and get your king out of the center to the right as fast as possible. So let's say we trade the pawns, and now I'm gonna bring.
When you say right, you mean my left, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's my right. Yeah, that's your left. Yeah, so basically, what it's called castling to the king side. So you see how they're the king and the queen. You can castle this way. You can also castle the other way as well.
Is that why things are called kings? No, king size is a smite. No, king.
I said king side, but
yeah.
But yeah, basically
that's a smite thing. Oh wait, so why would I go? Do I always need to go to the left, or can I also go to the right?
Yeah, you can go to the right also. So for example, let's say I move my knight here. So first things first, back to the basics. Am I attacking this pawn? I've got 1 knight attacking the pawn, right?
Yes. You could if you want.
But at the same time, how many pieces do you have protecting it?
That poor little pawn, I got nothing. I got a queen. What am I saying?
Right, so it's 1 for 1. So if I'm attacking with 1 piece, but you're guarding the pawn with 1 piece, then it's bad because I just give up the knight for 1 pawn.
Right, a 3 for 1.
So now,
special. What
you want to play here is you actually want to push this pawn.
Right.
Mainly because you protect this pawn, but you create what we call a pawn chain. So you see how there are the 3 pawns, 1 in a row like this?
Yeah, a Ponzi chain. Yeah.
Right. So you do this, but also what you're gonna do with your next turn is now you want to develop your piece. Like you've put the pawns on some good squares. Now you want to develop them. So what you want to do here is where can you put the bishop? Let's see. What are the moves that you would consider with your bishops here to develop them, to get them off the original squares?
If I were a god, which I am, is this crazy to think? That's too much, right? Is that crazy?
No, that's a good move. Basically, there are really no bad moves here. I just want to see what the moves you come up with. So basically, the two moves that I would recommend is this move or the other bishop to this dark square.
That's where I also was going to put him.
Good, very good. So this is what we would call a pin. So you've probably not heard the term before, but the reason this is called a pin is because what happens if I move my knight?
I'm gonna fuck you over so bad it's not even gonna be funny. I'm
yes. Well, you're not. It's not me, but there's some. No.
Wait. What?
Just think.
Okay.
Again, one thing you should be looking at is what are the pieces that are under attack, or like what am I attacking? But then also after that, what are you attacking?
What's under attack here is the pawn you could possibly get, and you can also get the other pawn, right? You can just get 2 pawns,
right?
Which is not.
But now think about.
Hey, easy.
Right, you capture my queen. So like you give up your bishop, but you get a queen, which is 3 for 9, which is fantastic.
Okay.
So
I just didn't. The reason why I didn't think about that is because. You know, I think that you're so much better than that. I'm like, there's no way this guy would just leave out his queen like this. So that's why I'm trying to think of ways of like Hikaru, like, oh, I gotta beat him when you're playing like someone who's like really
if
bad.
I'm playing well, you'll never beat me. But that's beside the point. Like it's literally like 0%, which like there's like 0%. We could play a million games and it would be 0%.
Oh yeah, well, what happens if you have to get up and get coffee or go to the bathroom?
Well, yes, there is that. Right, yeah. So there's extenuating circumstances, right? But yeah. So we can play a game after this where I'll start without. I'll give you some odds. I'll give you a game with some odds, like no queen and maybe no rooks.
I'm gonna be real with you, Carl. There's this 13-year-old kid named One Tap that bullies me, and I just want to beat him in chess. And
oh yeah. I think I've seen him around actually. Yeah, I've seen him. I think like you played him, right?
One Tap. Yeah, his name's One Tap, and he bullies me. So if you could teach me to beat him, that will be amazing. That's the starting pack, like the first anime intro to this. If I could beat him, I'll be happy.
You're off to a great start. Like what you're considering, like the moves that you're considering right at the start here, like this is a very good start. I was not expecting you to like come up with these moves, like because since you're so new to the game, like these ideas with developing the bishops, they aren't moves that a beginner would be thinking about. Normally beginners, what they want to do is like move all their pawns very early and bring the queen out very early. They don't think about developing their knights or their bishops or the forces that you need to bring out first.
Really? You think I'm actually not doing bad?
I mean, bishop g4, bringing this bishop out to this light square is very, very good.
Mods, VIP Hikaru. You earned it, man.
So like when you bring this bishop out early, this is what we call a pin, where like if I move the piece that's in the way, I lose something more important.
Right.
So like let's say I move this bishop. I'm just gonna play a couple of random moves, for example. Like even this is still considered a pin, because when I move this knight, you capture the rook, and the rook is worth more than the bishop. So it's a very good exchange of the bishop for the rook. So all right, let's keep going with this. So you move the bishop. So now I'm going to do what I call where I break the pin. So I want to really move this knight very badly. But I'm going to move my bishop here.
So if you moved your bishop there, the knight's worth 3, and so is the bishop. So it doesn't really make that big of a difference. So now you're asking me, what would my next move be? What would I do next? So we're kind of at a stalemate at this point, right? In terms of snipers.
I would say when you think about the bishops and the knights, don't just think of them as being even. It's not going to make a difference. Think of them as basically being even. So you can capture or not capture. It doesn't really matter. But think of the knights and the bishops as being even, because 3 is 3.
Okay.
So now what I'm doing is I'm developing my pieces to get my king out of the center of the board. I want to get my king over to this square next to the rook. So now you try to do the same thing.
To move my piece to the left, right? Or actually, wouldn't I move?
Okay, stupid? So that's not a terrible move, but one thing that I would say is you want to bring the pieces towards the center, not towards the side normally. Like the bishops are fine for bringing them out like here, but when you bring the knight here, you'll notice that the knight has it's like only going for 1 square. So
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. You want more broad.
Right. So like for example, like let's use the other knight because it's a better example. But here you can move the knight to 2 squares. You can move to f6 or you can move to h6. So let's say you move the knight. Yeah, that's the best move. Let's say you move the knight here. The knight can only come to this square, right? Right.
That's not good.
When you bring the knight here, it's going to be coming towards the center, but also at some point maybe over to the square your bishop is occupying.
Okay,
so normally you want to
sense.
bring the knights towards the center of the board.
Okay.
So in this position, which way do you want to castle your king? Do you want to put it here or here? And this is just a general question. There's no right answer.
I guess left.
You're left. So where the knight on the light square is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now think of this bishop. If you are going to move this bishop on one of these 4 squares, which square? Right, that's a good move. Is there another square where long term you can be attacking a piece, attacking like a pawn or threatening to capture something?
A pawn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hikaru, I think I figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Right, so you're not threatening to capture this pawn right away, because if you capture the pawn, I have 1 and 2 guarding the pawn, right?
Right.
So you're threatening to capture this pawn. No, or not threatening to capture it right away, but long term, again, this is why it's like a sniper. You're always keeping an eye down here.
And if anything moves, I'm gonna snipe it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna castle my king. So again, you want to get your king out of the center of the board.
So yeah, let's get my king out of there. We'll let's move that.
Very good, very good.
And then the next move I'll switch spaces, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So and then I'll have 3 pawns and we'll be good.
Right. So now I'm going to push this pawn here. So again, you want to think about what's under attack.
I have a question. Is there really no 2 chess games that are alike? Because that's not factually true, right? Like, there's got to be other people that have beaten chess in 6 moves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I would say is people can repeat the same moves, but very rarely does it happen. So like you will have the same position up to a certain point, but then it always branches off into something completely different.
Okay. All right. Makes sense.
If you play this opening, by the way, you will not lose in 6 moves. Right. But the thing I was saying is, so none of your pieces are any of your forces under attack here?
Yes. Right now, my bishop is. So
right,
I would want to move.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to move him here, and then because that guy can't take my guy, can he?
I can. Yes.
Oh,
remember they capture sideways. Pawns capture sideways.
Okay, so if he's like a sniper, then wouldn't I want to just move him back so he hides?
Mm-hmm.
If I move him to, what is this, 5, h5, then he'll get fucked, right? Because
there are many squares. I mean, basically there are no squares that are bad here, but you don't want to lose the bishop. So that's a great move. It's fantastic.
Okay.
So now I'm going to develop my bishop here. And so now, again, the main principal thing you want to do is you want to get your king out of the center of the board. And so now you've developed your knight, your bishop. By develop, I mean you got them off their original squares. So your bishops are on good squares, your knight is out. And now you've gotten your king out of the center. So this is the first thing you want to try to do in every game. is to get your king out of the center of the board. You want to bring your knight and your bishop and get the king out of there as fast as possible, and not like make some huge mistake where you lose like some pawns, or you lose.
You might lose this, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, yeah.
I think I got this.
Okay, so now I'm gonna make a normal move, and again, the first thing you want to be thinking about is, what am I trying to threaten, or why did I play this move?
Okay, which move did you just play?
I just moved my knight. I moved the knight to this dark square.
You moved the knight to that dark square because you're trying to force me to attack the bishop, right? You want me to attack the bishop so that way you can take it with the queen?
Right. So again, I'm attacking your bishop here. I'm trying to capture it with I have 1, 2, and you only have 1 protecting it. So I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win because I have more forces attacking the bishop.
Yeah. So what I could do is I could run.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, you have 2 choices. You either can trade the bishop for bishop, or you can go back to this square. And this is a very good move because again, you're not threatening to take this pawn right away, but you're keeping an eye on this pawn for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm gonna move my knight here.
So you moved your knight there. So I'm not going to do anything with this guy because there's no point, because what am I going to do? If I move back to h5, I'm going to get screwed by the other bishops.
Right.
There's nothing I can do there. What I could do, though, and this might sound crazy, is what if I do this?
That's not a bad move. That's completely reasonable, but think about it this way.
Too aggressive?
Well, it's not even too aggressive, but there's one thing. Well, this is something that XQC does. Since he does it more than anybody else, which is you've gotten your knight, you've gotten a lot of your pieces into the game, right? You've gotten them off the original square, right? Like you brought these bishops into the game and your knight, and you got your king out of the center, right? So what are the pieces that you have not brought into the game yet?
Fuck my queen.
Okay, so your queen is the most powerful piece, so it's not super important to bring it into the game, but there are 2 pieces that you haven't brought into the game, the rook and the knight.
The rook and the knight.
And so one thing that's very important is you don't want to just leave these pieces on their original squares for the whole game.
Okay. So if I was going to do something, I'd put him probably there because you want him to be more in the center, right? So that way he has more places to move.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
You really think I'm like XUC?
Well, you're picking up the basics quicker than him. You weren't trolling, right? You are completely new to chess.
Completely new, I swear. Well, I mean, I've seen chess. I know.
No. But I'm not saying you haven't seen it or you don't know the basic rules, but I'm saying like you haven't played it really. So
no,
yeah.
I played against one step and I've lost twice, and then I'm literally that's pretty much it.
No,
so
this is very, very good then. You're picking it up very fast.
Let's go. Okay. So
now one thing you want to think about is in this position, the rooks. Now the rooks move basically side to side, or they can move straight down.
But don't the rooks take a lot of time in order to get to so if I was to move one rook, I'd move him here, right? Because then right now you're fucked. I mean, I'm gonna grab your
well, it's actually
bishop.
Protected by the pawn.
Right, but it could be and rook is worth 5, so I probably wouldn't attack your rook.
The bishop. Yeah, you definitely would not do that. No, but you would not do that. But this is very good because one thing, when you think about the rooks, they attack when things are open. So this is what we call basically a file, this vertical line down. So like when you have this rook, it's on this file. It's the only open one in the game. So if you think about like these other 3 rooks, they're like pawns in front of them, right?
Yeah, they can't move, and it takes too long to move them because there's too many. It require a lot of moving of pieces.
Right. So like when you bring your rook here, it's very good because it's already on this open line. It's not completely open, but there are a lot of squares. And we
call it a file, by the way.
Yeah. Right. Good one. Okay, so this is a very good move. So I'm gonna play here, and I'm gonna again since you're new, I'm gonna give you a new phrase. There's what we call a battery. And by battery, I don't mean like the thing you put in your phone.
A battery.
So, yeah, you don't know what it is. So I'm gonna let me see what the best way to set this up is. So I want you to move this bishop here. Or actually, no, move the rook here first. Okay. So now I'm going to move my queen here. And now I want you to move this bishop here. So why would I want you? Well, first things first. Why would you? Why did I move the rook here first instead of going bishop here?
To bring the sniper back.
Right. So you want to bring it back, but why did I? What does this sort of? There's a slight problem with this move. Okay, well, let's visualize it.
It's only really got. If you move it back, it only has one real way to go, which is to the left diagonal, right?
Right, but okay, look at this rook here. You see this rook?
Yeah.
Now let's go back and look at this position. What's the difference between the rook being here and the rook being here on these two squares?
The rook there, the rook on 8A can't do any, can't go anywhere. The rook on AC can.
Right, so when the rook is in the corner here and the bishop's here, the rook can never come into the game. Like, you would like to bring the rook into the game, but the bishop is kind of in the way. It stops the rook from coming into the game.
Okay.
So when you move the rook here, and I go here and you move the bishop back, you see how now the rook, it's in the game. It can always move in all these directions. And so the bishop is on a good square, but the rook is in the game. It's not stuck out of the game here. Whereas with the rook in the corner, it's just stuck. It's not coming into the game ever.
And we don't want that. We want to make all of our pieces be moved because we don't want to be like XQC.
Yeah, I mean, what XQC does is he tunnels. So he basically he plays with one side of the board, and then he forgets to bring the pieces on the other side into the game. Not always, but he's done it quite a bit.
That's a sign of narcissism.
Okay. Okay. All right. I don't even know how to respond to that. All right. So like in this position, I basically since you want to look at like your ideas and your opponent's ideas, I can capture this bishop, but then you're going to capture back. So it's an even trade, right? And there's nothing else. Like, I can take this pawn, but then you just capture back. So none of your pieces are undefended. They all have protection. Like, anything that I'm attacking is protected here.
If you saw me do this in a game, would you be very impressed? Yeah,
I mean, basically all the moves that you've played so far are very good. Now, putting it together in an actual game is different, but the bishop moves, specifically this bishop move to this bishop out to g4 was very good. This bishop h5 was good, and most importantly, this bishop back to g6 was extremely good. So it seems to me that you have a very good feel for the bishops, like the snipers. They're the pieces that you seem to have the best grasp of right off. But you're also picking up like bringing the knight to the center. Like when I said that, you picked it up right away. So I know you're not pretending like you're new to chess, but you're picking this up very, very fast.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
So let's keep going. So now I'm going to move my rook here. So I'm again trying to bring my rooks into the center of the board too. So now there's what we call a battery, which is where you would move this queen somewhere, and that would be to move the queen here. So this is called a battery because you have two pieces lined up in a row.
So it's like a okay, yeah, I kind of get it. It's like a
it's like a jam. If you have another phrase, though, that's completely fine. Like, you don't have to use the proper chess phrase. If there's another way that you're going to remember it, like with other terms, that's completely fine.
I'd say like jam.
Okay. Yeah. So create some jam. So okay, now I'm going to just play a move like rook here. Now there's a reason that this is so powerful. So I want to see if you can find the next move.
I could do this. Well, if this guy is going to protect this guy.
Right. And where can I move my king?
You can, well, if you hit him, if you go to, you're going to have to switch, you're going to have to rotate with the rook and you get fucked.
So the castling maneuver where you move the king and the rook, it only exists one time in the game. Once you moved your king over twice, the king just moves like a normal piece again. It can only move one square in any direction.
Okay.
So where can I move my king?
No, like right in front of me, and that's it. You're fucked.
Well, I can't take the queen because your bishop guards.
Because my bishop's there. Yeah.
So this is checkmate. because the king has no squares. So when you threaten to capture the king and it has no squares where it can go to, that's the end of the game. So
I beat you.
Yes. I mean, I'm giving you an example, but yes, we'll play a game. We'll play a game after this with some odds where you'll have a real chance. But so like, think of this jam. It's very, very powerful. Like, you see how this bishop and this queen, they're so far away from the white king, but from distance they attack very nicely.
That makes sense. That's cool. It's like I think of it as like a scope on top of a sniper. Because I think of the bishop as the sniper and the queen's like the 6 scope.
Yep.
And then they're ready to just shoot and go.
Right. Right. So yeah, exactly. So that's why the bishops are so powerful, because like you want them to be from far away they attack.
Right. That makes sense.
So yeah, so this is a very good starting point. I'm trying to figure out if there's something else I show from this, or if we should actually play already. Because
I might retire, honestly. I just beat a grandmaster. I think it's pretty much time to retire at this point. I'm 1-0. Well, actually, never mind. I'm 1-5. I lost to one tap in.
If you remember these basics right off, like just like bringing the knights to center and developing the bishops, like you're already doing very well.
Good. I'm excited now.
Totally new. Yeah. This is a great start. So I just want to let's just look at this opening a little bit very quickly, and then we can play some. So like, again, as I said, the most important thing is these central squares normally. So when I push the pawn, you want to push back so that you get a pawn in the center. It's like if you give up too much of the center part of the board, your pieces don't have a lot of space, because you want to use the pawns to create the space and then move the bishops, move the knights behind the pawns.
Right. So like, then when the pawns go, you get that space too, right?
Right. So just to give you an example, let's say you put the pawns up 1 square instead of 2 squares here. The problem is that I end up getting much more space. So like I can bring my bishops out. Just to give you an example, let's say something like this, and you'll notice that what happens here is that my bishops are further advanced. They have much more threats. They're very active. But if you look at your bishops, they're very passive. Like, they're not actually attacking anything here, whereas my bishops are fully developed and they're attacking all of your pawns.
Right. Yeah. It's like sniping. Like they have like a really good scope when I don't.
Right. So that's why you need to take the space. You need to take some of the space in the center part of the board so that you can activate your bishops.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
So, okay, let's say I trade the pawns. What you want to do here is remember, how do you take back?
How do I take back this?
You want to recapture my pawn, yeah.
Oh, so, well, I would go, if I want to capture it, yeah.
Okay, and so basically what you want to do here is you want to bring your bishop out to this square to keep an eye on the pawn. So let's just say I move my knight. You bring this bishop out. I'm going to move my bishop, let's just say here. And now how do you get the king out of the middle of the board?
How do I get the king out? I have to move.
Right, and then let's just say I play a normal move like this. Right. So now we're castled, and again, to finish your development, you've gotten everything to the left of your king. So now you want to develop the other side, right?
Yeah. Right. So I would do, if I want to develop my other side, I could do. Is this stupid?
That's a completely reasonable move. The only thing I would say with this move
is it blocks the bishop.
Right. So again.
So I would probably want to put what if I do bishop there?
Right. And then okay, let's just say I play this move. Right. Okay. And then after I move my knight. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. And then you can just develop your rooks and all your pieces are in the center of the board.
Right.
So you have the basics down. So this is if we trade the pawns. Let's just say I don't know if Wanta plays e4 this pawn in front of the king right away, but if white pushes this pawn, you have this Ponzi chain.
It's the Ponzi scheme, yeah.
Ponzi scheme, right? Okay, so the way that you would develop, you see, like right here, you have a problem, right? You can't bring this knight out because my pawn covers the square,
right?
And you don't really want to go to the edge of the board with your knight. So the way that we try to play here is you also have an issue with this bishop. Let's say you go here. Now you're not really, this is the only way to develop and get your king out of the middle of the board.
Right, which sucks.
Right. So what you would play here is you would push this pawn forward. And now let's say I take this pawn.
So would I sacrifice a pawn just to have a better advantage in the board?
Well, is there anything that you can capture? Anything that you can take? Right. Okay. And now I'm just going to bring... And now you'll notice the bishop, by the way, attacks on this diagonal.
Right.
So now how do you finish your development? How do you get your king out of the center of the board? Right. Exactly. And now when I move the knight... Perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, you're picking this up very, very fast. Okay, so now let's say, is there anything else to look at specifically? Let's say I were to move my knight out. So now what I would recommend you do here is take this pawn, capture it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to capture back. And again, you want to develop here. So
right.
In this case, I would recommend something a little bit different. First, I would say move this bishop here. So why am I saying move the bishop here instead of moving the knight out here?
Because you can take the knight immediately.
Right. So, and if I take the knight and you bring this queen out, I'll give you an example of why you don't want to bring the queen out really too early. So I'm going to move my knight here. Let's say you just develop your bishop. I move my bishop and you castle. So you finish your development, right?
But my queen's out, which is really bad.
Right. And the problem is that now I can move my bishop here. And the problem is your queen can't go on any of these squares because this other bishop captures the queen.
And then I'm also not developed on the right side.
Right, but you're going to lose your queen. Your queen is trapped here. You have to give it up for things that are worth less than the queen.
Yeah, 9 for a 3.
Well, you can get 6 because you can take the bishop, and then you also get the knight, but it's still 6 points. Like, you're still way behind.
If I'm a rookie if I'm a rookie, right, and is the queen that valuable for someone who's a rookie, or is it more something that is valuable for someone who's an expert and understands how important the queen really is? It's
pretty valuable at all levels.
Okay. Because sometimes I think like the bishops might be worth a lot more, because when you think about it, like, do we really understand the value of what the queen really is, right? Like,
well, so like I'll give you an example. So earlier I said the bishop and the knight are equal. Like I told you, like think of them as being the same. At a more advanced level, bishops are generally better than the knights. But for a beginner, the value, you should think of it as being the exact same, because nobody will be able to no one will be able to sort of play the best moves to exploit that advantage. That's something that you have to be very advanced to understand.
Okay.
But the queen is still something that's worth a lot more than like the bishops and the knights.
Okay.
So here, just this one last little bit, like I'm going to say move this bishop. So when I move my knight out, how do you finish your development and get the king out of the middle of the board?
If you moved your knight out there and I can't do my knight, or if I can't do anything there, I would...
So remember before I was giving you an example of this move, but then you have to capture with the queen. Like when you do this move,
right, it makes it... I don't want to go there because that's bad.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you then.
Can I just go there?
No, you actually still get the king out. You move the knight here because it's an even trade. It's a knight for a knight.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm trying to be so defensive. Okay, that makes sense.
Right, so just think of it this way. Like if there's an even trade where it's a knight for a knight, something like this, it's completely fine. But what happens...
yeah, that makes sense. If you do that, then if I go here, is this middle considered? Like, what's considered middle? Is it just these 4?
It's generally where the king and queen are, but what I would also say is try not to get pawns one on top of the other one.
That makes sense.
So when I capture, what you actually want to do is capture with the bishop, because now the bishop keeps an eye on the pawn, but also long term on the pawn and the rook down in the corner. And the next move, you're just going to castle your king. So let's just see. So let's say I go here. So now you want to finish
Yes,
the one
now it's
side of the board. Right. So now I'm going to castle. And here, you see how you've got this pawn here? So your bishop doesn't have any squares to... Like,
no
it's
sniping.
not eyeing anything. No sniping. So now, is there a way that you can try to develop the bishop where you can snipe from another sort of angle?
Yes, I could...
Okay, you can push
Wait,
the pawn.
no, that was dumb. That was dumb.
Sure.
Is there another way I can make it so my goal is to make this go across the board?
So, okay, I'll tell you the move. The move is to push the pawn here.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do.
So this is what we call like the fianchetto, like it's some Italian word. But basically you want to put the bishop here so you attack down this long diagonal.
Right.
So what you do here is by pushing this move, you're going to develop the bishop, and then you can bring. So let's say I play a pawn here, or actually let me give you an example. Let's say I push a pawn here. You can move the bishop here, and again, there's a lot of pressure because you see how I've got 1, 2 guarding this pawn, 1 and 2.
Right.
You have 1 and 2 attacking it. But you can also try to remove one of the defenders of the pawn with your bishop.
That makes sense.
So just to finish this, let's say I develop. So now again, one side is good. The other side is good, but you want to get the rest of your pieces, the rest of the things here off their original squares and into the center of the board. Right, exactly. And so now let's say I go here.
Okay, so you went there, and so you moved your queen out. That's I'm gonna let you know that's risky. I didn't want to tell you that, but it's probably a little risky for me. I wouldn't do that. Not moving that guy. There's no point. Sniper wise, I feel like snipers. I don't really see anything of value.
Okay, so what I would recommend here is now you're just trying to bring your rooks into the center part of the game. So what you would do is you'd move the queen here. And then let's say I move my rook here.
Oh, I'd move my queen? Oh.
So, okay, I'll just tell you. You bring the
This
rook
is hard.
here. Yeah, you just want to bring all your pieces into the center of the board here. Like, you see how we
Besides my king.
Right, your king you want off to the side. You want your king out of the center, out of the action, kind of, because the king is the piece that's very vulnerable and can be attacked. And then what you're going to do to try to open up these files for your rook is push either this pawn or push this pawn 2 squares forward to try and open up this D file for your rook.
Okay.
So that's I mean I think that's the most basics I should give you in general. It's just like clearly you understand how to develop the pieces. And we can probably formulate more than that, but I think we should actually probably play a couple of games.
Yes,
if you want to.
Let's go. Do you want to verse me, or do you want me to verse someone else?
I'll play you. I'll give you odds.
Okay. All right, let's go.
All right. So yeah, let me just. Okay, there we go. Okay.
All right, let's do this $5,000 bet. Let's go. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do here, Hikaru, I'll teach you how to play chess, okay? Because I know you're new to the game. You're a checkers fan. I know you're. So this is what you do. You go here, and you want to get in the middle. So the key is you want to keep the middle as much as possible, and you want to develop your middle while also moving your king to the left side. So it's called king size.
Right.
Right. So
no, this is good.
So what I would do is I would try to get the middle as much as I can with my pawns, and I would next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my my bishop because I'm gonna come after you because you're being a little bit too much. Okay, so you moved your knight there. It's a ballsy move. That's what they call it in the chess category.
This is good.
So you moved there. So what I'm gonna do is let me get how's the weather? I'm gonna put this guy here because you know what? And now I got king side. Wait, huh? Wait, why didn't he go? Wait, I'm stuck. Hikaru, it's bugged.
You're going the wrong way now. This is actually, again, now think of it. You still want to go to the you want to go to the to your right when you're playing with the white piece.
Oh, that's my queen. All right, restart.
Well, on the bright side, I mean, I think Tyler 1 literally did this exact same thing. In the one game.
So my Tyler 1. Ooh, okay. I'm like an XQC Tyler 1 hybrid. Can we restart?
Sure. Yeah, we can restart. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. I'll just offer you a draw, and we can just restart.
Yeah, I'll accept it. It was a good game, man.
Okay. 1 second.
Whoops. Chat, mods, change the title. Draw with Hikaru.
Mm-hmm.
Not drawing. Don't confuse people. Okay, so I'll go first.
Right.
I'm white.
Well, yeah, you still have the white piece. Okay, so I will go here.
So you do that, and I'm gonna check you with this.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna go there, and I almost did it again. I did it again. I literally did the same thing again. It's okay. It's fine. I could come back from this.
You have an extra queen and you have 2 extra rooks, so you're up by 19 points. Okay, so it's already down to 16.
Quick restart. All right, so. Fuck. I've got this. I have the board.
Yeah, this is good.
Wait, if I put him there, you could just take my knight, right?
I can't actually see where you're gonna move, but
it's probably a yes.
Probably yes.
So you moved your guy there. I'm actually gonna do a Ponzi scheme, so that way you can't. So yeah, you can't do shit. Okay, I'm gonna move back here, and I'm gonna try to get defensive, so that way I can cuddle. Okay, and now I'm good. I have king sides, so
Good.
So now that I have king sides, I am going to move my knight there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the key is you want to get your knights in the middle of the table. So I'm gonna move my knight. You actually. Okay. All right. Okay. Wait, you went so fast. Where'd you go?
I just moved my knight back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not bad.
Chat, let me think. Let me think. Well, you just screwed me over.
Yeah, your bishop got stuck on the side of the board.
Yeah, my bishop. I'm trapped. Yeah, that was the worst. That was horrible. I never want to do that again. Okay, and I'm gonna. So a very important thing that people do is they don't utilize all their pieces throughout the board. So I'm gonna utilize all my pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck. You ain't getting my queen. Don't try to. Hey, listen, relax, okay? Relax. All right, move your knight. You
okay,
salty dog. You salty dog. Got him. Wait, what? You know, you're pretty good at this game, man.
You started out very well. You started out very well.
Yeah, that's what my parents said. All right, let's wait, did I lose? No.
No, you're still okay, but I think you went from plus 19 in material count to -1.
Can I still win this?
No.
Do you have to get the coffee anytime soon?
Nope. I'm good. I'm very good. I got my coffee before we started.
Any bathroom breaks?
Nope. Unfortunately.
You're gonna try to checkmate me. I'm running. I'm saving my queen. That guy. It's fine. What do you? What do I do at this point? What? It's just run? Like, is this just death? Are you really gonna attack me with your own king? Can you not do this? Mods, turn off the live stream. What are you doing? What was that?
I started making pre-moves, so all those moves I had already planned when you were thinking.
What? I wasn't even thinking.
Happens.
I wasn't even. What? How many fingers do I have behind my back?
I don't know.
1 through 5.
I can't do those kinds of things.
What do you think it is?
5?
Wait. It was 5. Clint Stevens challenged me. This is definitely not Clint. Should I verse Clint Stevens?
Yeah. I'll watch a game of that. Oh, it's Wantep.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Or Wantep. Okay. Let's watch this. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay. He realizes that you're very serious now. That's the good thing. So remember, you want to develop that everything to like the left of your king and get your king out of the center of the board.
Right. Let's just start with a check, right?
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
If I move back 1 at 5, can he attack?
So right now, there's the only thing that white can capture is your pawn, but you're guarding it with 2. So when everything is guarded, where it's like an even trade, you can continue with your plan. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Well, I mean, him moving that is pretty stupid, right? Because if
it's a normal move. It's just to bring a piece into the game. Bring the bishop into the game. Okay, not
Okay.
bad.
Oh, this is timed. He wanted to do a speed match.
Okay, not terrible, but again, you have 3 minutes. Just think a little bit.
Okay.
Don't think too much, but you don't need to move in 1 second. So now, remember what I said? You developed one side of your board. You got everything out of the middle of the board on one side.
Right, now I want to develop the other side too.
Right.
And now but I blocked my bishop. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Do I... Oh, my fiance is gonna kill me.
This is what we call a fork, by the way, because you're gonna lose something that's worth more than the knight.
I hate this kid! You were so proud of me for so short a time, huh?
There's room for improvement.
Okay. Queen. Hello?
Remember, your opponent has 15 seconds, so you should be able to win on the clock.
You lost. He lost. Hikaru!
Yeah, I think you won. I think you won. You won. You won. Nice.
I did it, Hikaru! I won! I beat a 13-year-old! I did it! Let's go! I beat a 13-year-old in a game.
Is that the first time?
Yeah, I never can beat him in anything. This kid's a god at life.
Nice. Good job. Fantastic.
Let's go again. Okay, ready?
Yep,
Dude,
I'm watching.
Chess is fun. Wait, have you ever played chess? This thing's fun. You should try it.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm on the right side, so... He's just moving his horse, which doesn't really mean much, which means I can move my horse.
Right.
Okay, he did the same exact thing I did because he's what I call a loser. So what I'm gonna do in order to protect that, I'm gonna put my pawn there so he can't really do anything to that. And he's kind of disqualified on that point right there. So I should be okay.
Yeah, you're doing very well again.
So he moved back, so I'm gonna move this guy right here, so that way calculated. And then he moved his knight there, which really doesn't do much in terms of life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna force him to move this.
Yeah, this is completely fine so far. This is good. Okay.
Okay. Now that he moved back. It's called a basic bitch, is what we call him in chess. So I'm gonna do a triple stack right there. That's fine. He's gonna take my triple stack, and I'm going to take his. I still have middle center of the board, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm going to
just try not to do the XQC.
Yeah. Oh, time. I'm gonna develop my left side of my brain and also the chessboard. Fuck. Okay, so I still need to develop the left side of my brain, obviously. So what's wrong with this kid? I didn't develop my horses yet. He's not rolling me. I'm Does that answer your question? Look, see, I got middle of the board, and that's really important.
But you lost a lot in return for that.
Yeah, I'm getting rolled. I've got this, trust. Okay. Why would he do that?
It's just an exchange. Exchange of one pawn for one pawn.
I've got this, Hikaru. Watch.
I'm watching.
Because watch, he's going to take this. He's listening to me. I can't talk.
He stream sniping, okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, he stream sniped me hard. Oh! One tap. Can I call you one tap? Bold and brass. Oh, you son of a bitch. Was that smart?
It's a reasonable move, yes. Yes.
Okay. What's next? One tap. He's going to attack this. Hikaru, you're not watching this, are you? Hikaru, you're not watching this.
I am watching this, unfortunately.
Oh. What do I do?
Well, you're forced checkmated here. Your king is stuck. Oh, or he can blunder. Okay, now it's a game again.
Wait, what the hell did he just do?
He was trying to be clever because you had a way to prolong the checkmate for 2 moves.
He said, wait, what? No. Let's go. Let's go. It's not over yet. I still am. I can still throw easily. All right, let me. Wait, what? What are you? Are you okay? Are you throwing up? Are you sick? I don't know what to do. Dude, this time stuff's stressing me out. I missed checkmate. Did I really? I've got this still. I've got this, Hikaru. Relax.
You missed the ice skater.
You didn't teach me that one, so that's your fault.
I mean, you should have seen XQC.
I have 5 seconds.
This is true.
Dude, I had you in check. I had him in check.
So if you go back, there's one thing I wanted to add, which is this third. If you have the board open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you click on the game?
Yeah, I'm on the game.
Right. So go back to move 30, or you're playing again. All right.
Well.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's fine. I mean, I think the thing is, like, just in general, try to remember these basics of developing the pieces, and if you want, like, the other thing I would say is if you click on you can't do it right now because you're playing the game, obviously, but click on the puzzles tab and do some of the puzzles. That's the main way that you're going to improve. But you have you have like the basic concepts for development and these sorts of things down. So basically, that's the main thing. Do some puzzles and try to remember the development to the left or the right of your king. Get the king out of the middle of the board, and that's already a very, very good start.
Okay.
So, all right, I think I have to get going. I actually have to like be streaming at 9 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, so I got to get rolling. But you've got the basics down. You just need to like think a little bit more and do the development and make sure that you're not blundering any of your material. Okay.
Hey, were you proud of me for a second?
You're in general, like you're understanding the concept. So yeah, it's a development thing. But it's not bad. The last one was very good, and even though there's room to improve, it's a very good start. It really is. For someone who's very new, it's a very good start. Like, you're understanding these sorts of things. So yeah, I am impressed. For someone who just started, it's a very good start.
I will make you proud. I pray a lot, but you better pray a lot if you want me to win. But I promise you, I will do better. I promise you, I can learn. I can learn stuff.
Yeah. No,
okay, just give me a week. I'll go get my Adderall. I'll be able to do this. I promise.
No, you can learn. It's very clear that you pick it up very quickly. So yeah, just do some puzzles. Just play a little bit, and you won't lose in 6 moves. I can assure you of that much.
Oh, that's big.
So
that's big.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words of telling me I won't lose in 6 turns. That's actually very nice.
I mean, no problem. And like, I think like closer to the event when there's time, if you want to do another lesson, just let me know, and we can do more.
Yeah, let's do more.
All right. And also, don't forget to like message me about your uncle, because I'll certainly give him a game if he wants it. So, all right, I'm gonna get rolling. So
All right, I'll see you later, man.
And good luck. Okay.
All right, I will. I'll be good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Carv.
All right, you guys. Oh, did he walk? He walked into the checkmate. Yeah, unfortunate. Anyway, as I was saying, the thing I think is that like it's not well, he played the wrong opening. He played the French. I think the main thing is that he picks up the concepts very quickly. He's going to need to repeat them a little bit and do some puzzles. And once he gets that down, he'll be a fast learner. He'll be a fast learner. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. He's an accountant student. That's why he was so good. Yeah, I mean, he picks up the concepts. Like when I said develop the knights to the center, he got that right away. When I said bring the bishops out, he understood that very, very quickly. So he just needs to have some basic, just a couple of opening setups and do some puzzles, and he'll improve very quickly. He will. It's just like I think the time is also freaking him out. He gets too low on time, and then he just panics. But yeah, he'll improve for sure. So